I know. I had a lady come up to me at one gig and said, I'm going to go to the manager of this restaurant. And I said, ma'am, what did we do wrong? She said, they're not paying y'all enough. And I said, what? How do you know what we're getting paid? She said, all of y'all are sharing one cigarette, so you must not be getting paid very much.
Something in the water taught me how to crawl. Something in the water taught me how to fall.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Something in the Water. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Uncle Dave Griffin, Mr. Sean Clark, and we're happy to welcome back Jason Chancey.
How y'all doing?
This is our
coming out of quarantine.
Well, it's been a while since we've done this. And,
it's been a while.
You'll notice our spectacular new surroundings as well.
Yeah, we got a new set. Caution Light Media.
Caution Light Media, Mr. Justin Mercer. He's sitting off camera this time, but the previous episodes, we thank you for watching, have all been done out in the backyard in a
concrete cathedral.
Concrete cement block, little garage out in the backyard. And as y'all know, South Georgia weather is brutal with the humidity, and them old concrete walls tend to sweat. So this equipment had to be moved inside to an air-conditioned, climatized zone, and here we are in the studios, the actual studios, yep. Caution Light Studios. This is where he does the recordings, musical recordings and such. But we're glad to be back. Hope that everybody's doing well. This is going to be a kind of an impromptu session. We don't really know what we're going to talk about, not like we ever did, but before. But
so how's quarantine been treating you guys, Jason?
I mean, right now I'm pretty happy. I feel like an old cat. I finally got let in the house here at the home day caution light or whatever. But it actually hasn't been a whole lot different for me because I've been working my regular day job.
Yeah, it never stopped for you, did it?
It never stopped. I work in the outdoors industry, so people been going outdoors because there's nothing to do indoors. So we've been really busy, but the music thing's been kind of slow.
Yeah, but y'all started back a lot.
Yeah, we're right now. It's
not back to normal, but
yeah,
I've seen some pictures. I was like, dang.
Yeah, we've done some shows. We've done. We did a 350 capacity, probably at least a month ago.
Yeah, with Justin Spivey band. Yeah,
with yeah. I'm Jason Chancey. I play in the Justin Spivey band. I play the bass. Mm-hmm. And
where was that at?
That was at Middleburg, Florida, at Southern Social Whiskey Bar. Cool. I think we had 350 or so in there that night. We've been.
Did they change the name to Southern Social Distance Whiskey Bar?
Well, there wasn't a whole lot of distance between people that night. I guarantee you that. But I mean, right now, as it stands, we're booked. We're booked pretty well through, I think, September, October. We might have one open date left, which Justin does a lot of acoustic gigs on the weekdays, and we'll either do Friday, Saturday as a full band or one or the other, depending on, what's available, how far it is, what the pay is, or whatever. So sometimes they'll do a duo with our drummer, Austin Lane, because they harmonize real well together.
Does he play the full kit when it's just him and Justin?
No, he just does a cone and
cool
and vocals, and then they'll trade off on guitar.
Yeah, Austin's real good on guitar too.
Yeah. And Justin actually plays drums. He just doesn't. I mean, he has played it played drums with us one time, I think, when we played a show where
Really?
him and Austin have swapped up for
Cool.
a song. But yeah, there's a lot of talent in that band with Austin Lane and Logan Inman and Justin Spivey. And I know how to run the PA and play the bass a little bit. So that's pretty much what I bring to the table when it comes to that. But
talking about Florida, playing down in Florida, I've had you helped me get a gig down in Steenhatchee.
Have you went back there yet?
I went back the very next Friday.
Wow.
As a matter of fact,
Cool.
the owner, who I've never met, but the owner wasn't there that first night, and I woke up a week later, Friday morning, and there was a text from the owner asking me if I had any plans for that night. He needed another fill-in, so I did play 2 weeks in a row down there and enjoyed the hell out of it. But them people down in Florida, there is the COVID don't exist down there.
Yeah.
It's like they are balls to the wall, and I don't know. That's the weird thing about it is, I know this thing is for real,
Mm-hmm.
and I do respect it and take it seriously and everything. But as a musician, once you get out there, you tend to let your guard down a little bit.
And I've noticed, like, playing some gigs, it's like, you try to be safe, but there's a point where you're like, you don't want to be a butt to these people that are coming up to you, and it's like awkward. You're like, oh, I don't shake hands, or I don't, or
it kind of moves.
you need to back up,
yeah.
Mister, or whatever. But
you
I
think
just
less about that.
Yeah.
And plus you're drinking too.
Right.
So the drinking relaxes you, and you kind of tend to. But so far, we're all doing good as far as not
getting it.
non-infected. Thank God.
yeah, for sure. Now I've noticed that, the feedback is very, very positive. People are enjoying going out. The ones that want to or can or whatever. And honestly, everybody who's come out to our shows has looked healthy. I know that, and I know that's not a way to tell if you have COVID,
Right,
but you know what I'm saying? It seems to be, people are kind of sitting with their tables of people that they come with that they were going to be hanging out with anyway. So,
You don't have the. I was just thinking, you got the table in the corner that's like sneezing and coughing.
I mean, and some of the shows, it's very much like we have a particular place we go to after the set, and some people can follow you or find you or whatever, and that's fine. And we're not trying to hide away, but we're also not trying to walk full on out into,
Right. Yeah.
shaking hands with 40,000 people at one time.
We're being as safe as we can be,
But back in my days, we used to go burn one. After the first band,
first set.
leave them alone.
Yeah, I know. I had a lady come up to me at one gig and said, "I'm going to go to the manager of this restaurant." And I said, ma'am, what did we do wrong? She said, "They're not paying y'all enough." And I said, "What? How do you know what we're getting paid?" She said, "All of y'all are sharing one cigarette, so you must not be getting paid very much."
Yeah.
But we have done a lot of restaurants, outdoor restaurants. We were doing mostly outdoor stuff and outdoor restaurants, and we've had really good response. We've been called back, a lot of times to go ahead and get, 3 or 4 or 5 dates. We had, I think one guy today booked 13 dates with just an acoustic today, just for the rest of the year. And so there are some places, opening up. And I mean, Saturday night we had 90 people, and it's probably 350 or 425, seat capacity. That's about as much as you can spread out, and people were all over. They weren't, clumped up in one area of the building. So it was these groups of people that felt comfortable hanging out together. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I come into contact with a lot more people when I go grocery shopping than I do when I play music.
Yeah.
End of story. You know.
Yeah.
How about y'all? Pine Box Dwellers, y'all.
We're
These guys right here.
it's starting to open up again a little bit, but you know, I'll have a solo gig and then a full band gig and a duo gig and
Not quite the level that it was.
yeah,
but-
no, we were playing 3 to 4 times a week, full band. But I mean, we've been lucky for sure. People's been calling us a lot, which is good. You know, I haven't had to reach out too much, but it's getting thin about this weekend, you know, coming up. But and I've got some holes coming up, so I'm starting to get a little bit itchy scratchy about calling people. But
Yeah.
Well,
What about the guys in the band? How do they feel about it? Have you talked to other musicians who don't want to play right now, or? And
out of the 4 of us, I would say everybody's worried about catching something, but on a level, I think Jesse's the most scared. Nothing wrong with that, but that's just where he's at with it. And you know, me and Connor will ride together, or me, Connor, and Jody will ride together to a gig, and Jesse will drive separately. And Jesse will wear his mask the whole time, but it's, you know, you can't sing in a mask. So me and Connor and Jody plays harmonica, so definitely can't do that with the mask on. But
well, see, I think I already had COVID
yeah,
with light, you know, lighter.
before it all came out.
Oh, this has been, you know, it's been months and months ago.
We thought that
I went to the
had
hospital, tried to get a test. They wouldn't give me a test because they didn't have enough at the time. Then all the symptoms passed, and I haven't gone back to get the blood test, which can detect the fact that you've already had it and you're safe. You know,
possibility of antibodies. And stuff.
yeah.
My wife thought she had it. And she's like, I must have had it in November because I was really sick in November, and she got tested for the flu, and it wasn't the flu. Well, she's got tested here recently because she works at the ER or whatever, and she hasn't had it.
Wow.
So I don't know.
It's a strain.
That might have been a pandemic that nobody even called on to.
I mean, in my day job, I deal with people, and I touch money that other people have touched.
Yeah.
You know, and I go in and out of all kind. I travel from town to town and go in and out of a bunch of buildings and deal with a bunch of people every day. That's way more, you know, which we carry. You know, I've got a mask that I keep with me. This is not. It's one of the ones it's technically a neck gaiter that you put down around your neck and then you pull it up, kind of like a little bandana.
I've got one
thing.
of those. Yeah.
It's a stretchy deal. And I've got
stretchy deal.
I've got a several bottles of a little hand sanitizer in the truck and stuff like that for when I work. And I mean, you just do the best you can. It's all about being, you know, I guess being smart. So, what about you, Dave? What's
Well, I guess the way that it's affected me is the most is, you know, you're talking about, okay, let's go back to when this first started, when it first started creeping into our awareness, was the week of the Swamptown Get Down Music and Arts Festival, that one of the music festivals that I put on here in Waycross. One of 2. The second one is
It was literally that week.
It was that week.
It was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Nobody knew what was going on, and should we have it? Should we?
It
not
was
have
like our festival began on Thursday, like March 12th, and that Tuesday before that, I started seeing the news reports, the national news, talking about it's ramping up, folks, and it's ramping up fast, and but we decided to go ahead with it, and it was wonderfully attended. It was we had the best time.
I didn't hear of any casualties of anybody.
No casualties of any sort, and the talk afterwards was out of everybody that was there was like, thank God
that you got to do that.
that we did that.
Yep.
You
Go
know,
out with a
we
bang.
snuck it under the wire right as COVID was beginning,
Yeah.
After that, it came on headstrong, and that was when the lockdowns began and everything. And like everybody, we all went into a lockdown for several weeks. The end of March, I believe, is when it started in Georgia, anyhow. And there for 2 or 3 weeks there straight, everybody, it was a virtual lockdown. I mean,
Yeah.
you went out and you bought groceries, but that was the only trip away from home for a while there.
Looked for toilet paper everywhere.
Yeah, there was a shortage of toilet paper. But I don't know. I started writing a lot of songs.
Yeah, you did. I
wrote
thought, yeah.
I wrote some songs during the slowdown. It seemed like it was coming. It was coming fast and furious there. But I was also watching a lot of documentaries and
Yeah.
and also reading too. I'd read. I was reading books and watching documentaries, and those two things right there inspire me to write a song in a hurry.
I was watching documentaries, but I didn't read. But
Yeah.
I guess that was
I read a little bit. I got a book on Norwegian black metal. The beginning of that, where there was a bunch of church burnings and murders and all that stuff. It's pretty interesting. For us, it was like we're probably the outlaws of the COVID era, I guess, with our band, because we went 43 days without a gig, and that was the longest stretch we went. And a lot of people went a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
Every week it would be, cancellation, or this place is going to still do it, but they're going to be at diminished capacity. And no, we're canceled.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're canceled. And
yeah, we had,
honestly, we all still work a day job. So, if somebody wanted, needed something, a band or a duo or a trio or something, we would try to call other people that we knew needed the money that might not mind going and doing it. We didn't want to, obviously, just because it was COVID time, we didn't want to start getting locked into lower price structures because of diminished capacity. I mean, we don't charge a lot for, as a band, but there are some venues that started cutting pay till honestly, some of them, it wasn't on me. It was for other performers, like acoustic performers, where guys that were getting $200 a night were now getting $65. And,
we fell into the safety net, the CARES Act that was passed right there at the end of March by the federal government. Were you able to take advantage of that?
We did not seek anything of that. I mean, not to sound like hokey or whatever, but like a lot of our friends play music, and that's what they do for a living.
Yeah.
Justin works construction. Austin works on a mill.
Y'all were still working.
Logan works his job, and I work my job, and we just didn't feel like it was right to possibly, if there was a pool of money, because we started hearing about these pools of money and how it's all being taken up. So we, and I know friends in different parts of the country that were still waiting on unemployment.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked amongst each other, and
and it was scary.
Which is an individual, it's an individual decision. That's fine, but we all kind of agreed that for ourselves,
it was scary there, just going through it, and it was such a hard process. And then you, we did it wrong. Now we got to do it again, and not hearing anything back from their side of anything, just not knowing, and then
it was a cluster mess.
Yeah,
from the standpoint of the state government, as far as because they had to institute all these new programs and everything just to handle the unemployment claims.
Yeah, and you couldn't get anybody on the phone.
Florida had it really bad. Florida's was, oh my God, I think they're still just now getting around to getting the payments out to the Floridians, but
it was getting scary, like we weren't going to get it. And then
we were very fortunate because That was
Well,
quite a help.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just I got the stimulus payment, and that was cool because that helped offset some of. I mean, there's COVID costs.
Yeah.
You're having to go around your elbow to get to a roll of toilet paper, or you're having to pay more for something, or order stuff from Amazon, or beef prices went through the roof for a while. There was a chicken and pork kind of shortage. There was just different things that. I mean, the $1,200 more than paid for, any price increases on stuff or hand sanitizer and mask and all that stuff. I mean, I definitely wasn't going to turn that down since that was for everyone. But
I sent mine back.
But we heard about some places where there was. We heard about some places where there was unemployment for artists of stage dance music or whatever, and how there was a set amount of money.
Yeah.
Not per person, but for the whole pool.
Right. It's like it's going to
And the
run
more
out if you
people
don't
that
get
add
it.
on,
Yeah.
and it's going to runs out. So
Yeah.
we were like, oh, let's just hands off. I bought an in-ear monitor system on credit right before, like 2 weeks before the COVID shutdown. But I was like, I can take that out of my regular paycheck, And then when the stimulus came, that just,
Helped out. Yeah.
because I was counting on gig money to pay for, I count on my gig money to pay for my guitars and, various implements of destruction.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was weird. It's been weird.
It has been weird.
It's been weird.
I still have a hard time just driving to Walmart or wherever, and seeing people walking around with masks on. Yeah. I mean, I just still ain't got used to that. It's just like, it just kind of shocks me for a second.
That used to be against the law.
Yeah, it used to be. Outlaws used to do that.
Now it's against the law to go in there without one.
I didn't recognize you without your mask on.
That's the part I love, actually. Yeah. Going in there and you're like, they don't know who I am. Like, I don't have to talk to this person right now. And get out.
Some people you can't tell if they're smiling when their masks on.
I know.
Right.
I mean, you can't. Yeah.
They could just be going.
Yeah, I've become like, people are a lot friendlier to me now in my mind. Anyway, so
yeah, you see people staring at you a lot longer, with your mask on. You're trying to figure out who
he's smiling.
Everybody's doing that. Like I did that today in Walmart. You make eye contact and you're like,
okay,
are we being cool? Or
that's enough.
I don't know. I looked at him too long. I think I'm gonna get the COVID.
Yeah. See, you just follow my lead and just start, like, when you look, you can't quite recognize, you start looking at their butt. And you're like, I'm just trying to recognize you, see if I know you. I mean,
cancel.
I'm sorry, ma'am. But that Copenhagen ring tells me.
Copenhagen ring. Man.
For those of you who may not know, a Copenhagen ring is when someone carries a pack of snuff in their back pocket so long that it makes a ring in their jeans.
I didn't recognize you till you bent over.
Yeah. I was in Walmart one time, and I swear I've got this written down somewhere, but a guy said to a female, he said, I'm sorry, ma'am, you look like my cousin from the back.
No.
Yep.
What you got there, buddy?
Well, that's a big one.
Whoa, loud.
Courtesy of Pareidolia Brewing Company, they did up a Pine Box Dwellers Something in the Water experimental lager. And we drank quite a few of these.
What do you call that?
This is a crowler.
Crowler.
It's like a growler, but it's a can, so it's a crowler. It's 32 ounce.
And you did the artwork for that.
I did the artwork on there. It's like a creature from the Black Lagoon.
Can you
deal.
get close up to that?
Do I need to get closer? That's too close. Too close. Here, right there.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
It's the creature. But anyway, this is we only got a few of these left, and we figured we were waiting on the podcast to drink some of them. And since we're back with a new set, I figured this is a good time.
Where's mine?
Well, I didn't bring enough for the whole class. No, we got some. And look at this. It's the Creekster from the Black Lagoon pint glass that was not made for us. I just bought this on the internet. But
Tilt it sideways, Ed McMahon.
ooh, oh, it pours
gosh.
crazy all in your lap like.
Tilt that glass. Tilt it toward me. There you go.
It was the can that was leaking. All right.
That's a whole lot of beer there. I'm not a
want
beer
one?
guy. No,
Okay.
I just take a sip there.
You
I'll
like
try
a little
it.
you like a little sip?
Yep. Are you going to edit any of this up? He looks like he's
You
clipping.
got
Looks like what?
You're clipping.
this looks like
clipping?
the mummy.
You're way up on it.
You got the mummy.
Oh,
That's because you need your mummy to drink it.
I detect sort
Just
of
in.
earthy.
This is that new beer, ain't it?
This is kind of like a.
Yeah.
It's a experimental lager.
I'm getting hints of possum underbelly.
They asked us what we liked, and we all liked something different. So, it's experimental. Cheers.
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 Pine Box Dwellers.
COVID.
Beer.
Oh yeah. Let me get you. We're doing things. Yay.
This is,
Let me give her a shot.
Pareidolia Brewing Company, Sebastian, Florida. We appreciate you.
Pareidolia Brewing Company. Hold on. Pareidolia Brewing Company.
Yeah.
Was that San Sebastian, Florida?
Sebastian, Florida. Yeah.
Sebastian, Florida.
Wow.
Mm.
That's
Yeah,
got
there's some great people down there. We can't wait to go back. We got something on the books.
That whang's like a staple.
I'll tell you what, I'm not a beer guy at all, but for a beer, that is not bad.
That's kind
Ooh,
of refreshing.
It's a nice dry finish, too.
that's good.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I've been picking apples with a girlfriend or something. It's very
Got a
good.
citrus kick.
Yeah. I know they said the hops, it was some hops from New Zealand that they had never used before.
Mm.
And
You know why they got the hops from New Zealand?
I don't.
They were cheaper.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen,
You're not unemployed, are you?
No.
Don't quit your day job.
keep them cards and letters coming.
Mm-hmm. Well, man's got to do what a man's got to do.
That's good beer. And they got a great selection down there, man. Every time you go there, they've got just taps down the wall. There's some kind of, I'm gonna get all this wrong, but there's a club, a monthly club you can join with them, and then you get this pottery made stein or something. And when you go in there, that's your stein.
Where's this? Is the name of the town?
Sebastian, Florida.
Sebastian.
It is down on the Atlantic coast,
Below Daytona.
below Daytona, above Fort Lauderdale, somewhere right in there.
That's
St.
quite
Pete.
a trip.
It's north of St. Pete.
No, St. Pete is on the Gulf.
Yeah, totally.
Wait, I'm thinking of something else.
Should be north of Cocoa Beach, maybe.
Well, Coco's fairly close to Daytona, isn't it?
There's
Cocoa,
a
Fort
Saint
Wa-
something or a
Cocoa
Fort
and,
something right there.
Cocoa Beach.
We went
and,
to a music store down there. I can't remember.
Somebody go on Google Maps, look it up,
Yeah.
and text us real quick.
Florida.
Florida.
It's down there in Florida.
So
Great little spot. And I don't know why I haven't asked this question, but every time we go there, we get out the van and little tiny bunnies are everywhere in the bushes and in the town. Just little tiny bunnies are everywhere eating.
well, Maybe they got free range bunnies.
They got free range bunnies.
Little tiny ones, dude. Midget bunnies.
I mean, they were all like this big, like a quail, like little bunny quails.
That would be awesome. I want to go there.
I want to eat them.
No, come on,
no, not the bunnies.
No,
No, I'm just kidding.
I think the first time I went to Fitzgerald, Georgia, I didn't know that they had free range, like chickens just roam the town.
In Fitzgerald?
Yeah.
I didn't
know that
Key West, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Chickens are.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. And I've been to Fitzgerald.
Are there hens and roosters there?
I expect, and Hemingway's six-toed cats.
You talking about Key West?
Yeah, Key West.
Yeah, there's iguanas all over the place.
And iguanas down there too. I loved it down there. We went down there on vacation when my son Connor was about 12, I guess. He's now the drummer in the Pine Box Dwellers band. And as we were going down there, the horns kept honking at us on the interstate, and didn't realize it, but it was National Gay Week was going on down there, and it was I reckon as people were flirting with me as I was driving down 95. You know, it's just a hey, you know.
They're probably telling you to turn around.
Just that we don't need you. But we got down there. It was beautiful.
Only time I went to the Keys was winter solstice, and it was overcast and cold as hell and rainy. And
Oh, it was cold down
it's
there?
horrible down there.
Was it with a girlfriend?
No, I won't say who it was because I don't want to say who it was, but a guy friend at the time of mine, and right after opened up for Leon Russell down there in Fort Lauderdale, and he was driving
yeah.
he was driving me around and wanted to go down there and to
Funky
see.
Biscuit? Was it the Funky Biscuit?
I don't know which
Fort
one.
Lauderdale? Where you opened for Leon? Was it the Funky Biscuit?
I don't think it was that.
That's where I played. Yeah.
Was it?
You did
High
Ponte
stage?
Vedra.
It was a high stage in
Yeah.
a short room.
Yeah,
It was called Funky Biscuit.
yeah,
I could not remember that.
yeah.
It was an odd gig, but it was fun. I mean, Leon opened up for
Oh,
Leon
man,
Russell,
it was great. It was great.
and the green room was cool with all the pictures of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we went down, and you think, well, at least I thought, I'm in Fort Lauderdale. We're not that far. It's about as far from there to there as it was to come back home.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we were going to watch the sunrise, and it didn't happen. It was overcast. The worst day to be there all year. But I've been there, so
I've never been to the Keys. I've been to the Grand Canyon.
I want to go to the Grand Canyon.
I've never been west of Texas.
Me either.
You'd fit right in, Dave. I mean, it'd just be,
Well, it's a big hole.
yeah.
He'll fit right in there.
Well, I plan to. You know, there's things that I want to do still, and
Let's go.
I'm running out of time.
Let's take this show on the road, Justin.
Something in the water coming to a town near you.
Coming unexpectedly to a we're here. Just go in somewhere and like,
Yeah, I want to go. The farthest west I've been is Middle Texas, and I rode out there with Kevin MacArthur, a local friend of mine who did T-shirts, and he was printing up T-shirts for a hog roundup.
I remember that year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That was the year that it was colder than all get out at Swamp Town.
yeah.
And that's the oldest concert shirt that I still wear to this day. I wear it to like around the house or to bed because almost all of everything's faded off because I wore it once a week for 5 or 6 years. As a good job, Kevin, on that shirt. It's like one of my favorite shirts ever.
The hog shirt.
No, not the hog shirt, the Swamp
The
Town
Swamp
Get Down
Town shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I remember shortly after that he was making up shirts for a hog baying.
Yeah.
Hog Bay, and that's
I remember
what-
that
yeah.
when that happened.
And them folks out there were serious now. And we sold some T-shirts. All I was there to do was to take the orders and pass them back to him. He had 2 presses going full time back there. We stayed full time busy from the morning to the evening. And then we'd just go back to the motel and fall out. And that was fun. That was the weekend that on our trip out there, we came up with the idea for the Brass Button Award
Oh, really?
for the Grand Parsons Festival. We was talking about earlier, the Swamp Town Get Down was the first of 2 music festivals that I put on here in Waycross. The first and oldest festival happens at the end of September every year. It's the annual Grand Parsons Guitar Pull and Tribute Festival. Grand Parsons, honoring Grand Parsons, who was fabled and important musician who spent the first 12 years of his life in Waycross. But every year since Kevin and I came up with the idea, we present a Brass Button Award at the music festival to one of the groups who plays there, celebrating them and their contributions to keeping the musical legacy of Grand Parsons alive and well.
Yeah.
And but that's where it happened on that road trip. And I drove. Kevin said he went to sleep. I drove from Waycross all the way to Texas in the middle of the night, and he was supposed to take over driving
It never did.
about halfway, and he was over there pretending like he was asleep. I know. But that was a fun time. But that's as far as I've been. I've been to Little Rock, Arkansas, and I've been to whatever the name of that little Texas town was. And I want to go further.
It's definitely worth it. I recommend it greatly. The West is a very inspirational place for somebody who grew up in the scrub where you can't see more than 100 yards at a time, and you get out there, you can see till it just
That's why I want to
till
go.
the earth curves.
Yeah, that's why I want to go. Right there.
Yeah. Just be in the desert.
Be in the desert and
Among
just see
all of
every star there is to see.
Yeah, there ain't pictures don't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, it's got to be
It's
seen and
Well, it's all around you.
Yeah.
It's I mean,
the feeling just is overwhelming. isn't it?
I went up a couple of years ago, my buddy I was in the military with, and I flew up to Michigan where he lived, and then we drove from Michigan to California just for him to get a tattoo. And then we drove back, we went through everything, Utah, Arizona, Nevada, California. And it's crazy. Utah is like another planet. And when we were coming back, it was there was like a red moon, a super moon, something really rare, We crossed this plateau, this peak, and we're coming down, and you could just see forever, and you could see that red moon, that giant red full moon, coming up over the plateau, and it was
It's like in the movies where the moon is
it's just huge.
and it's right there at you.
Yeah.
oh, it's crazy.
See, now you can't see nothing like that here in South Georgia.
Too many trees. Yeah.
That's by the way, that's Justin speaking. Goshen Light Media.
I don't think there's
Is
a camera.
that the year
there's not
that
a
you
camera
almost
on
got
you.
caught in the flash flood?
No, that was the previous trip. He lived in Arizona for a period of time, and I think it was 2 years before that I went to see him in Arizona, and he was going to do something, and I took his car down a dirt road down in this valley to take some pictures, this beautiful mountain range off in the distance. And start sprinkling a little bit heavier. So I'm like, I better turn back. So I get in the car, start headed back up the way I come. It was a pretty good grade, nothing extreme, but I'm coming back up, and then it turns from a drizzle to a good rain to like a downpour in 5 minutes. And probably within me coming back the way I came a mile, this torrential like flood starts coming at me.
God.
Like on the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so the road is like a canyon, and it's just, you could tell it's been dug out from water in the past.
Oh,
So
wow.
I see it coming, and it goes from like just a covering to like an inch to 4 inches to 6.
Wow.
Then it's literally a river. The road turns into a river in 5 minutes.
Oh, God.
I'm in his Jeep, which luckily is a 4-wheel drive, but you know, and I'm concerned that I'm going to get stuck and get water all in his car. You know, I literally I've been gone 30 minutes and this happened, and I find this little hump that I can drive up on, and I drive up on it and park, and I'm safe, luckily. But I proceed the next 15 minutes. I just watched the road turn into an absolute river, like rapids,
Wow.
just everywhere. I got video of it, but it was.
I'm going to stay home. I ain't going there.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then another 15 minutes, and it
was dry.
It subsided. It slowly went down, and then these locals come by on their 4-wheelers and their big 4-wheel drives, and they're just looking at me like I'm lost, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
What you doing up there on that hump?
yeah. But I could have very easily ruined his vehicle, and yeah. So that was the first time I went to Arizona. Got caught in a flash flood.
Wow.
Yeah, I went to right outside of Moab, Utah. I think it's right outside of Moab. Natural Bridges National Monument. It's all these arches that were cut out by the water and the wind over all these years, and you drive, and you don't drive, you climb down, and they don't have like actual safety stuff there. There's not like stairs or anything. It's just like a handrail and some smooth rock, and if you fall, and
that's on you.
Yeah, whatever. Mm-hmm. But the only thing they really tell you is like, hey, go look at everything, don't litter, and if it starts raining, climb. Because what you get down to are dry riverbeds, and they are completely dry. Well, they're not soggy, they're not muddy, they don't look like there's...
And they're not going to soak up any water.
Nope, not a bit. And the second it starts raining...
It's like a bowl.
Yeah, and it's coming down from all directions into this one area, and but it's still amazing, man. I mean,
Well, I'm going.
I agree. So,
well, all right, I guess we'll have to wait till the COVID's done.
Yeah, for sure.
But, all the reports I've been seeing is COVID's going to be with us beyond this. It's going to be with us forever. So,
for sure.
I got all ideas that this will end up being just like a flu shot or
once they get
measles or something like that.
Yeah, once they get enough information on it, I don't know if y'all saw amongst all the stuff that's been happening. This week they announced the eradication of wild polio in Africa.
I didn't see that. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's completely gone from Africa now.
Wild polio? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep.
I'm glad it's gone.
Yeah. I mean, you got to figure Africa is a huge continent with people that are remote, so it's harder to get stuff
to them,
stuff out, but polio is gone.
Polio was still a big thing over there.
Yeah.
Though, right?
For a while it was, and it's been,
it's gone.
They've been working on it, but it's gone. Cool. That's it. So that's a super positive thing because, it's not something that affects a huge number of people, but it's very important to the people who it does affect. So when the scientists can get it down to where like, well, we can still isolate this one thing and we can figure out how to cure it without it, costing an inordinate amount of money, or they got enough, I guess they got enough support financially to figure it out. Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool because it just shows that, we can
beat stuff. Yeah.
beat stuff, you know, as a world. So there's that. I mean, so I thought that was some good news.
Oh yeah. We certainly are living in strange times right now.
Sure.
This is a once in a century kind of ordeal that we're going through right now.
Right.
Wrote any COVID songs? I know you have. You wrote any COVID songs?
I have not written any COVID songs.
Or any songs during this? Doesn't have to be about.
Not really. I mean, to be honest, I mean, if we're talking about all this stuff, I've kind of been, you know, doing what Dave's been doing, is doing documentaries and reading and you know, kind of watching, just kind of taking input and not. I've been trying to think less, I guess.
Yeah. For me, I think it's going to come later, like because I always have to like deal with something and then
Exactly.
later
I
it
need to
comes
see
out.
the other side before I can really fully. I mean, you know, or at least, you know, it's like you talking about writing songs, you know. I've been in unhappy situations where I've never written a song about it until it was over.
So it was that.
And it was
When you get
over,
over it, then you can look back and
you're
you have all
like,
these.
yeah, you
If
you took my living room suit, but I'm going to write an album. So
that rug really
take
brought
that.
the room together.
Exactly, man. They're nihilists
Well, then,
with nice marmots.
the thing about
After you Johnson.
that's the thing about songwriting is my opinion is you write when you write.
Yeah.
You know, there is no
I think
there's
it
no
comes to
uptime
you.
and there's no downtime. It's just
There's no downtime for
time.
Dave though.
no. It's that there is downtime with me.
Shoot, man.
But there
downtime
is-
for you is not downtime for me though. I will say that. But downtime for me might be a year.
The time is
Might be a
the
week
time.
for you.
The time is when the muse visits you and whispers in your ear or whatever. You know, that's when you write.
And when that's happening, it's just like you can't not write it. It's just coming out.
well, that don't always happen, but you know, the inspiration for a song to begin can come out of thin air, or it can come from a book, or it can come from watching a movie, or it can come from listening to somebody say something. You know,
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of it. It's just no pressure. That's what I love about it. It's no pressure. It's just like, wait, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Just wait.
I don't worry about it or anything like that.
Yeah.
There's no need to.
I sometimes feel like I've lost the path, or it's just something I can't do anymore, or whatever. But I also then I just don't think about that, because like if it ain't gonna happen, it's like
Right. You can't force it.
it's like a poop, man.
Yeah.
You know, like you can sit down and
Well,
after
I
you're there
never
for a
quite
while-
thought about it like that
If
before.
if it ain't time, it ain't time.
Well, you haven't written songs like I have either, so
I got one.
I got that brown sound.
I got one.
But no, Dave, since you're the senior member of the group, when I was younger, much younger, first starting to try to write songs or whatever, I could always grab onto some kind of negative emotions or something I was going through or some sadness, and that would be the sort of the propellant.
Mm-hmm.
But as you've gotten older, do you find that stress is a better inspiration, or if it's just
No, not necessarily. I mean, it's just like I was saying a while ago. They'll come at you from any angle, you know. And the most important thing is you just got to be ready to take it on, you know, when it does come. Stress probably helps, you know. I remember reading something about B.B. King one time. He said, the best blues song that I ever wrote, I was feeling pretty good, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so it don't have to be anything one way or the other. It don't have to be anything. I mean, that's my view on it anyhow. I just think that you're going to get inspiration to write a song. And
And it doesn't necessarily have to be anything you've lived through or going through. Or
it
anything.
don't have to
It
be.
could be about let's write about a book, whatever, you know.
Yeah, it can just be putting yourself in the position of somebody else who you're watching somebody else go through something,
Yeah.
you know, and all of a sudden you sit down and you start writing. Sometimes you don't even know what you're writing about
Yeah.
until you're halfway through,
Oh,
or all the way
through, or
with
6
it.
years
And then
after you
can
wrote the
look
song.
back and
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
then you can look back and say, "Oh my God, yes, I was just okay. I see it now."
But for me, I wouldn't say that for you, but I think anytime you sat down, you would probably write something.
No.
Every time I sit down, I'm like, the spigot ain't on, the faucet ain't running. I got to come. It's not working today or whatever, you know. And some days I can come up with riffs all day long, can't come up with any words, or can come up with a few lines, can't come up with any music.
Well,
But when it's on, I'm like 2 or 3 songs in 2 days.
Yeah.
I love it when that happens.
Yeah, that's the good thing.
For me,
Good
you know,
times.
I have such. I feel like I need to write at such a high standard that
Yeah.
I just don't stick with stuff and push through. And then it's about a week or so ago, a week and a half ago, was like the 9 year in 2010. I wrote a musical.
Yeah.
It was about 5, maybe 6 songs altogether, and the dialogue for a children's version of Dracula.
Okay.
And I wrote those songs in about 3 days. And
Yeah,
I went
they're
back,
great.
you know,
They're great,
for myself,
too.
and I went back and listened to all, and they're really good songs.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
to punch me, you know, not to,
Yeah.
to puff myself up, but
I've
they're
never
really good
heard this.
songs.
Yeah,
I've
they're-
never heard
yeah.
it.
They're really good too.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and it's like that inspiration was there, and I've never fancied myself a writer because I don't sit down and try to write or whatever, but I always have had that one step removed sort of viewpoint, you know, where when I do write songs, I figured out, not on purpose, but I figured out that most of the time when I'm writing a song, it's about not me, but it's about something that I have in common with whatever that character is. And I'm not sitting down and going, well, his name is Joe and he works at a factory or whatever. The song comes, but I realize it's not me because I have a song called Girls Who Drive Jeeps. and Dave's wife Lynn loves it. That's not me
I know
at
that
all.
song.
Yeah.
But
It's
there
just-
is that one part of me
That
that when I see a
understands-
Jeep go by and there's a girl in it, I'm like, I wonder what her life is like.
Yeah.
And I bet there's some guy out there I've known guys that were really into volleyball players or really into this or really into that. And they're very specific about women. And I've just never been that way. It's always been a personal one-on-one individual connection.
Mm-hmm.
So to write a song about a guy that's into something very specific, you know, on the outside of a person, I didn't try to do that. I just sat down and thought, you know, I saw a girl driving a Jeep. That's cool. I bet somebody that could really be a thing that people could be into. And I went, girls who drive Jeeps, and that was it. You know, I mean,
Play
it just came out. So
Yeah,
play
can
it right
you
now?
do that?
sure, I can do it. Where's the guitar?
We have several around here.
And I have
Something's loose in that one.
extinguished. Hold on, let me get a sip of this beer first. Hold on, sorry.
You need another
I've
drink?
extinguished my bourbon drink, so I'm hoping that
you need another one?
How'd you like that?
people,
Pareidolia.
people know that I don't drink beer,
Yeah.
and that went down as smooth as.
Yeah, I was worried about that. You liked it.
Yeah, I did.
Well, that's the best compliment you could ever get.
My wife loves this song.
I love it too.
Jason, Girls Who Drive Jeeps.
All right. Girls who drive Jeeps. Girls who drive Jeeps. They get in my mind all of the time, make me feel like a creep. Girls who drive Jeeps. Girls who drive Jeeps. They're tall and tan. They play in the sand when I'm asleep.
And when I see them dancing on the edge of my dreams, and I know that I can never have it all, and my life is coming apart at the seams, well, at least I'm in love with girls who drive Jeeps. Girls who drive Jeeps. They're out of my league, 'cause they're so intrigued by guys named Philippe. Girls who drive Jeeps. Girls who drive Jeeps. Their ponytails send me off the rails. I'm in way too deep. And when I see them dancing on the edge of my dreams, and I know that I can never have it all, and my life is coming apart at the seams, well, at least I'm in love with girls who drive Jeeps.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's
Don't get any liver than that, boys and girls. I'll tell you what.
That's
Did I mention
nice.
I'm a bass player?
Oh, that was good.
But no, that song, I mean,
Oh,
shoot.
Break
these
it.
are
You bought
heavier than they used to be.
That song just came, kind of out of nowhere, and it's a silly song, but you know what? It's actually a real song.
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's got all the parts.
Yeah.
And it working like it. I catch myself singing that song all the time. I do, for real.
Girls who drive bleeps.
Anytime I see a Jeep, it's like girls who drive Jeeps.
So,
Well, now the reason it's my wife's favorite song is because she's always wanted a Jeep. Her daddy was in the National Guard and drove a Jeep, and that was her childhood. He used to take her for rides in the Jeep.
well, there's something American about a Jeep.
Yeah,
for
but it's a
whatever reason.
gas guzzler now.
I know.
It's like not aerodynamic at
Have you-
all. It's just it's
have-
like a brick rolling down the highway.
Gas guzzling is American.
Have you checked out the Jeep Renegades though, Dave? They're pretty.
No, I'm talking about
inexpensive.
the Wranglers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that kind of box style.
Yeah.
There's. But anyhow, she does want one, and I'll try to make it happen for her one day. But right now, I just did make another one of her dreams come true. I bought her a camper trailer, a
Hell
camper
yeah.
trailer. Yeah,
Heck yeah.
yeah, a little old
Real cute one.
tin can, what they call a tin can ham or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful little thing,
Give me a little
it's
Gypsy Roads.
a little gypsy
there.
wagon, and
Heck yeah.
so maybe we
Y'all bed
can,
anywhere in it?
it sat in the front yard until we went to, we hauled it over to Townsend, Georgia, and left it in the backyard of a friend of mine who was a handyman. He's going to go through it and kind of, make a list of the improvements needed on it, wiring, water, sewer, whatever, needs to happen with it. And
Oh, it's got a bathroom in it?
well, it's got the space, which I'm assuming was an original bathroom, but all it is now is just a space. And I'm thinking we could retrofit that thing with a commode,
Just put a bucket and a shower curtain in there. You're good.
and some kitty litter. Yeah, we can make do. We'll figure it out. But
It's all about
That is-
making do.
that is one thing that she wanted, and we crossed that off her bucket list. So, but my bucket list. Now let me get to my bucket list. My bucket list is Grand Canyon and
Stonehenge.
the Rockies, and I'd love to go on a music tour. Just hit Muscle Shoals, Memphis, been to Nashville, seen the things there, but maybe go up to Cleveland and hit the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you know. And then, of course, Los Angeles with Sunset Strip.
Is that Capitol Records building still there, you think?
I don't have a clue. It
It's still
probably
there.
is. Probably is. It was round, wasn't it?
Yeah, they still were there.
There's-
Like a big old stack of CDs.
Yep.
Of course, there's Red Rocks. You can't forget that. You know?
Yeah,
Red
I
Rocks
would love
be
to see a
awesome.
Red Rock
Yeah.
show.
I know people that have been there.
I met the man who met Andy Griffith.
What?
I don't know. I saw that in something. It's like,
What it was.
man, down there at the mall, they got the man who met Andy Griffith. He's signing autographs. That's small town for that's small
Well,
town for you.
That's small town for you. I'll shake his hand.
He met Andy Griffith. I swear, he got a picture.
Oh Lord, Andy Griffith was icon.
What's that? The man who sold the world. That Nirvana song.
Yeah. Well, it's
The man-
actually a David Bowie song.
David
Bowie.
Yeah. Okay. So the man who met Andy Griffith.
Yeah. There's a song there.
And if you were Jim, it was Bowie,
Mhm.
but it was all spelled the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's take a pee break and we'll be back.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.
And just remember that everybody in Mayberry that was happy was single. The only one who was married was Otis. That's why he is drunk all the time.
Dun, 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 dun.
Something in my blood starts to take a hold. Something in my bones start to lose control. Something in the water gonna make me whole.
We're gonna play a song me and Dave wrote about a month or two ago. It was spawned by our good friend Lindy Berg. Her and her husband Ed. They are over in the Brunswick, Georgia area, and she told me a story about a Waffle House waitress named Baby that had went through some trials and tribulations, and it looked like a good song to me. And I took it over to Dave's house. I said, if there's going to be a song written about the Waffle House, it's got to have Dave Griffin in it.
I've eaten many of them, but I've never had Baby for a waitress, and I'm looking forward to that day, though.
Yep.
But anyhow, it is a song expressly written for Baby.
What do we call it? Baby.
Baby,
We call it Baby.
or
Yeah.
Ballad of Baby. How about that? The Ballad of Baby. And this song goes out to you, baby. Baby was a waitress at the Waffle House on exit 29. She had lanky long legs, dark hair, smiling hash brown eyes. She'd take your order in a sing-song style, set you straight with a country smile. Baby was a waitress at the Waffle House on exit 29. Baby had her regulars and her fair share of orders on the side. Butter up, sugar cream, keep 'em all satisfied. Well, she's an all-star special, bring you down to your knees. Keep you coming back saying, pretty please. Baby had her regulars and her fair share of orders on the side. Baby had a lover who was smothered and covered in shame. He was a low-down loser, abuser, a user of pain. He made her quit, He blacks her eyes, cut little baby down to size. Baby had a lover who was smothered and covered in shame. Yeah. Now baby is a waitress at the Waffle House in 341. She left that son of a bitch bleeding in the Georgia sun. Back in the business of being alive. She waiting tables, she gonna survive. The baby is a waitress at the Waffle House in 341. Now baby is a waitress at the Waffle House in 341. Baby. 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 Yeah.
Man, that was good, guys. I have not heard that song before. I hear that Lindy's husband Ed's a big fan of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they say. Yeah.
Good deal.
That's good.
Yeah. We hope that a lot of y'all are out there watching. And if you are, like, subscribe, notify,
Share,
review,
review,
rate.
tell your
all
mama.
those things. But I'm an analog man in a digital world, so I'm just kind of feeling my way through all this stuff. But I am an analog man. See that?
That's real.
So we appreciate all of y'all, though. We appreciate you for watching, and appreciate your comments too. And share it with all your friends. Get us all out there. Folks, I guess it's time for another tale of the week.
Yep. From your book?
This is from my book that was published in December 2018. While we was on break, we were discussing many things while we were on break, from bidets to the minute differences between Carolina and Memphis and
Kansas City.
Kansas City barbecue sauces, because we had some ribs tonight, courtesy of Justin, from Caution Light Media.
Yeah, 3 different flavors of ribs.
It was very tasty.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to read to you one of my tales of the week concerning the Andy Griffith Show. My son Connor, who I've spoke about already tonight, has now become a fan of the Andy Griffith Show, which I'm so tickled at, because I grew up with the Andy Griffith Show. It was the greatest, in my opinion, it was the greatest sitcom in history of television. And the fact that my boy is now getting into it makes me happy on a bunch of levels. This is called For the Love of Andy and Barney. And if you'll excuse me.
Andy's back.
It's as friendly as a faded childhood memory, as warm as that old familiar coat at the first sign of a new winter. as nostalgic as a dreamsicle from Dot and Duncan's, melting on your bare knee in the back of a pickup truck down Memorial Drive. The friendly, familiar, and nostalgic melody, written and whistled as the main theme of the Andy Griffith Show by Earl Hagen, is firmly embedded in the psyche and soul of all that is good. Over the years, American sitcoms have come and gone in a flurry of high expectations, one-liners, canned laughter, and live audiences. None have combined plot, character, and comedy as perfectly as that weekly half-hour visit to Mayberry, North Carolina. A visit that began and ended with a whistle and a finger snap. Earl Harry Hagen was born in Chicago on July 9th, 1919. As a youngster, he moved with his family to Los Angeles, picked up the trombone, and by age 16, he left home to join the big band circuit, playing with Tommy Dorsey and Benny Goodman. At the age of 20, he wrote Harlem Nocturne, a jazz classic that has been covered by groups from every genre and generation since 1939. The song became the theme for the television series Mickey Spillane's Mike Hammer from 58 to 60. Hagen's work in television was most successful, composing the memorable themes for Make Room for Daddy, The Dick Van Dyke Show, Gomer Pyle, USMC, That Girl, and I Spy, which landed him an Emmy Award in 1968. The Fishing Hole was the name Hagen gave the famous tune, whistled as Andy and Opie Taylor made their way down a wooded lane to Myers Lake at the start of every Andy Griffith episode. The Andy Griffith Show was set in the fictional town of Mayberry in the backwoods hills of North Carolina. Patterned after Griffith's hometown of Mount Airy in North Carolina, the sitcom was as believable as the characters themselves. The show's southern authenticity to detail was remarkable, given that it was filmed outside Los Angeles and produced by Sheldon Leonard, Richard Link, and Aaron Rubin, a handful of northern geniuses from New York, New Jersey, and Chicago. The black and white episodes of the first 5 seasons, by far the best, introduced so many memorable characters. Aunt Bee, the matronly architect of fine Southern cooking on the show, couldn't boil water if her real life depended on it. Opie Taylor, America's every kid, grew up before our very eyes and turned into a fine filmmaker, directing Cocoon, Apollo 13, and most recently the highly touted documentary The Beatles, 8 Days a Week, The Touring Years. A slew of colorful characters, including Andy's sideman, Deputy Barney Fife, Barber Floyd Lawson, town drunk Otis Campbell, gas station cousins Gomer and Goober Pyle, and lovable hillbilly Ernest T. Bass will forever be remembered as the comedic geniuses they are. A few of the episodes stand out in my mind as most brilliant. Convicts at Large, in which Barney and Floyd are taken hostage by 3 female escapees from prison. My Fair Ernest T. Bass, a hilarious takeoff on Lerner and Lowe's musical My Fair Lady. And Opie the Birdman, like so many Andy Griffith shows, injected a lesson in morality that viewers may trace straight to the pages of the good book. The magic of the Andy Griffith Show lies in the intelligent synchrony of comedy, drama, and music, primarily of the folk and bluegrass variety. Andy Griffith was no stranger to the guitar and was a good singer as well, so much so that the writers worked a musical segment into almost a quarter of the show's 249 episodes. Barney and Andy harmonizing in the courthouse as they go about their daily routine. Bobby Fleet and his band with a beat. The dysfunctional Mayberry Town Band. Gomer Pyle's unexpected, beautiful baritone singing voice. Andy's peaceful front porch serenades, and the fabulous Darling family, led by Father Briscoe on the jug. When the Darlings came calling, you could rest assured they were going to stir up a little trouble for Andy. And the Darling boys were going to pick and sing some good old mountain music. In reality, the Darling boys were none other than the famed bluegrass band, the Dillards. Guitarist Rodney Dillard, along with brother Doug on banjo, founded the Dillards in 1963. As the Darlings, they were featured in 6 episodes on Andy Griffith. In 2011, I was pleased to book Rodney Dillard for the 14th annual Gram Parsons Guitar Pull and Tribute Festival. He was amiable and talkative, not at all like Rodney Darling, his reticent character on the TV show. In episode 19, Mayberry on Record, an independent record producer came to town in search of local talent. One group who performed on the 1961 episode was the Country Boys, featuring a young Clarence White, who went on to play with the Kentucky Colonels and the Byrds, following Gram Parsons' departure in '68. Together with Gene Parsons, Clarence White invented a guitar accessory that emulates the sound of a pedal steel guitar, the B-Bender, of which he was a master. Tragically, on July 14, 1973, Clarence White was struck and killed by a drunk driver as he was loading equipment following a gig in Palmdale, California. Gram Parsons paid tribute to him in a verse of his original song, In My Hour of Darkness. Small talk, homespun humor, colorful characters, and down-home music were the ingredients for one of the most revered television shows in American culture. Television critic Horace Newcomb said, "Peace, love, and laughter are the central virtues of the world of the domestic comedy." As a child of the 60s, I was a big fan of Peace and Love and Andy Griffith. Gonna whistle now. I can't whistle anymore, folks.
Thank y'all so much for having me again.
Yeah. Thanks, Jason.
Great.
For coming.
Jason, it's been good to have you, brother.
Come see me play sometime. Check it out at Justin Spivey on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat.
Yes, sir.
Christian Mingle, Farmers Only, Farmers Mostly, all those places. Seriously,
Farmers mostly.
If you're a fan of,
Folks, it's been good to get back
Yeah.
to the old Something in the Water podcast, and we appreciate y'all tuning in. And I'd like to welcome you back next time.
We'll see you down the road.
come on back now. You hear?
When the cold black water finds its way across through your veins, it just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate.